Systems beat heroes. Picture this. Your company is in the championship game of life. Lights, pressure, clock ticking, and your star performer, your hero, the one person who always saves the day, calls in sick. Not quits, not dies, just has a life. And suddenly your whole operation starts moving like a shopping cart with one demonic wheel. Screech, wobble, panic, blame, prayer. If your business collapses when one person is absent, you don't have a team, you have a dependency. Today, we're talking about a painful truth that actually sets people free. Systems beat heroes. The big idea, set the frame. We love heroes because heroes feel exciting. Heroes are cinematic. Heroes are simple. Just hire a genius. Just find the superstar. Just get the rainmaker. But systems? Systems are boring. Systems are what people scroll past. Systems are what nobody claps for. Systems are the plumbing. And yet, remove the plumbing and everything becomes very memorable, very fast. Here's the principle I want tattooed on your leadership brain. A great system makes average people effective. A bad system makes great people fail. That's not motivational fluff. Quality pioneer W. Edwards Deming argued that performance is largely shaped by the system people work inside. In other words, fix the system and people improve. Ignore the system and even heroes struggle. Story 1. The Hero Surgeon Problem. Let's go somewhere high stakes. Surgery. If you want heroes, go to an operating room. You'll find brilliant people, steady hands, years of training, confidence sharp enough to cut steel, and still, mistakes happen. Not because they're dumb, because complexity is a predator. It doesn't attack intelligence, it attacks attention. This is where Atul Gawande and the modern checklist movement entered public conversation. In a landmark study, hospitals introduced a surgical safety checklist, and complications dropped significantly. Deaths dropped too. Read that again. Not a new robot, not a miracle drug, not hiring the best surgeon on earth. A checklist, a system, which offends our ego because our ego wants the headline to read, "Local genius saves everyone using raw talent and jawline." But reality is less Hollywood and more clipboard. The twist: why heroes are expensive. The hero model has hidden costs. First, it doesn't scale. You can't copy-paste a person. Second, it burns people out. The hero becomes a bottleneck with a heartbeat. Third, it creates silent chaos. Everyone else stops thinking. Don't worry, the hero will fix it. Fourth, it's fragile. If one person leaving breaks your output, you didn't build a company. You built a single point of failure, wearing a nice shirt. And here's the most dangerous part. Heroes hide problems. A hero can keep a broken system alive long enough for leadership to think the system is fine. That's like saying, "My car is great," because you've been pushing it downhill every morning. Story 2. The Cockpit. Now let's go even higher stakes. Flying. A commercial cockpit is basically a laboratory in the sky with alarms. Fast, complex, unforgiving, and aviation learns something early. Memory is not a strategy. Flight deck checklist research shows that structured checklists support operations and reduce error risk in complex environments. Notice the philosophy, not find the most talented pilot and hope vibes carry the day, but build procedures so even excellent people don't rely on perfect recall under stress. Because the enemy isn't stupidity, the enemy is entropy. Story 3. Toyota and repeatability. If you want a living cathedral of systems, look at Toyota. Their production philosophy focuses on eliminating waste, improving efficiency, and continuous improvement, often called Kaizen. Why does this matter? Because Toyota doesn't build cars like, let's hire a legendary mechanic named Dragon and hope Dragon is in a good mood. They build cars like, let's design the work so quality is normal. Systems don't depend on mood. Systems don't depend on charisma. Systems don't depend on whether your superstar argued with traffic on the way to work. Story 4. Moneyball. Now let's talk about a story that makes hero worship uncomfortable. Moneyball. The Oakland Athletics had a smaller payroll, yet stayed competitive by changing how they evaluated players. They leaned into data, on-base percentage, undervalued talent, not star aura. That's not just baseball, that's business. Instead of asking, we need a superhero, they asked, what repeatable model produces wins? That question, the model question, is the doorway out of chaos. The rabbit hole. What's really happening? Here's what's happening underneath. A hero is often a human patch for a system bug. When heroes get celebrated too much, the organization learns the wrong lesson. It learns, keep the bug, just praise the patch. Then leadership starts recruiting patches. We need someone who thrives under pressure. Translation, we need someone who can survive our dysfunction. But pressure isn't a business model. Pressure is what happens when the model is missing. The practical framework. Build systems that win. Let's make this actionable. Step 1. Identify hero moments. Ask, where do we constantly need saving? Which tasks only one person can do? Where do mistakes, delays, or complaints repeat? Those are system gaps, wearing costumes. Step 2. Convert tribal knowledge. If success depends on what someone just knows, you're gambling. Turn it into a checklist, a standard operating procedure, a template, a decision tree, a run book, a definition of done. Remember, checklists have proven impact in environments as complex as surgery. Step 3. Build feedback loops. A system isn't paperwork. A system is a loop. Do, measure, improve, repeat. That's the spirit of continuous improvement, the same philosophy behind Toyota's approach. Step 4. Design for the bad day. Your system must work when people are tired, someone is new, the internet is slow, customers are angry, the deadline is ridiculous, and your best employee is on vacation eating peace of mind with extra sauce. That's why aviation uses checklists. Human attention is finite. Step 5. Make the system visible. If it can't be seen, it can't be followed. Make it visible through dashboards, Kanban boards, service targets, daily stand-ups, simple metrics, quality, cycle time, rework rate. Visibility turns intention into execution. The emotional core. Systems aren't cold. Bad systems are cold. Good systems are mercy. A good system means fewer late nights, fewer emergencies, fewer "why didn't you read my mind" conversations, fewer customers paying for your internal confusion. And most importantly, a good system gives ordinary people the power to do extraordinary work consistently. That's leadership. Not finding a hero, building a way. The final punch. Here's your challenge. Pick one area of your life or business where you rely on a hero, maybe it's you, and build one small system this week. A checklist, a template, a script, a process map, a handoff routine, a definition of done. Because the goal isn't to be the hero forever. The goal is to build something that works even when the hero is gone. Because heroes are inspiring, but systems are how you win repeatedly. And if your whole business needs a superhero to survive, my friend, that's not a business. That's a comic book with invoices. If you want, tell me what kind of business you run or what process keeps breaking, and I'll help you design a simple, no hero required system for it.